and happy Wednesday, happy Sunday, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, including my own, who might or might not be watching right now. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, we're coming at you here from deep South Texas. It is another hot day down here. It is 88 degrees. I'm sure we're going to be pushing mid-90s before the end of the day because that's just the way it works. Let me give you a quick peek outside. You guys can see what the weather is like out here. It is bright sunshine and hot, especially if you're out there in the sun, which is not where I want to be. I want to be in the garage with the fan blowing. By the way, we did unveil the new car over at RobMotive Plus. That is on YouTube, of course, if you want to check that out. This is the new ride that I have for that channel. Not really going to be on this channel because I would get roasted if I had that car on this channel. You know it's true, right? I've already had a couple of comments. Oh, Rob, I can't believe you bought a Tesla. What are you, nuts? Well, I have varied interests, right? Not just regular gas-powered or turbocharged new Toyota Tacomas, which, by the way, we have one back here. This is the 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. It is the 4-cylinder turbo, which I think is fantastic, by the way. But we're going to talk about what's going on with the Tacoma because, frankly, there may be reason for a little bit of concern. I'm not sure. Tim says, Happy Mother's Day to your missus. Happy Mother's Day to her as well. Anyway, we do have that new channel. Check it out if you're interested in that. Not new channel, new car. It is a Tesla, a whole new endeavor for me. I've never had one before, so it's going to be quite interesting. And can you do any mods to a Tesla? You can, and I've done a few. So check that out if you wouldn't mind. It's RobMotive Plus. Click the subscribe button over there and click the subscribe button over here too. So what is the deal? What is going on with our beloved Toyota Tacoma? You saw the thumbnail, I assume, for the live stream, and what it's supposed to depict, if I hit the mark at all, is a car lot with new Tacomas on it, right? You remember when the new Tacoma, right there, first came out, you couldn't find one anywhere. They were charging outrageous markups. Now what the dealerships are doing, they are adding options to get that markup, if you will. I mean, the markup on a dealer installed option is about, I think it's like 400%, something like that. So you're going to pay about 400% more than you would have to if you go with anything installed by the dealer or even options directly from Toyota, right? You know, I'll tell you something interesting, and I'm gonna jump on this car over here as an example. I have a spoiler on the back that I put on. It is right there. I know, a spoiler on a Tesla, right? But anyway, I put that spoiler on. It cost me $89. $89 for that spoiler. And then shortly after I put it on, they announced the new performance Model 3, I guess. It's the hyped up super version of the Model 3, and it comes with a spoiler. Now, I put that spoiler on before I knew that, right? So I'm not trying to make it look like it's the performance version, but I guess in the end, that's what I did, except their spoiler is carbon fiber, I guess. But anyway, getting to my point about markups on the Tacoma, using that car as an example, they're charging $450 for that spoiler, or very similar. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It's an adhesive stick-on thing. $450 installed. I paid $90, $89.99, I think it was, for almost exactly the same thing, except I did the labor part. So figure, do the math. I mean, $450, $360. in markup and labor for what should take somebody who's used to doing that no more than probably 15 minutes, right? I mean, that's a pretty darn good rate, isn't it? 360 bucks for 15 minutes worth of work. Multiply that times 4 for 4 15-minute segments of an hour, right? And that's the labor you're paying, or the equivalent to the labor you'd be paying, right? If it was an hourly rate. That is a pretty darn good rate, right? I mean, geez. So anyway, when you buy the options, you're paying a heck of a markup for them, and most of them you could do yourself. I mean, ceramic coating or film on the front, yeah, that's kind of an art. You know, you kind of have to know what you're doing or you screw it up. At least I would. And I'll tell you a secret. One of the things that I did not want on my new truck was that paint or film protection on the front and then in the door handle areas. Not that it's a bad idea. I just didn't want to pay for it. I thought, I've never had it before. They went ahead and put it on at distribution. So when the truck came into the dealer, we already negotiated the deal. I was done and I wasn't paying anymore. And they knew this. So they even pointed it out to me. Well, your truck came with that film on the front, and I'll show you what it is in case you're interested. It's the film that goes, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see it. Maybe with the dirt that's on it. The truck is dirty. But you can see the line right here, right? That's the paint film protection coming on the sides. And then, if you look at the hood, I tried to pull it down because it doesn't have struts, so that didn't work. But anyway, there is paint protection film here as well. You can see the edge of it protecting the front part of the hood. And then here it is again on this side. And I'm not sure exactly where it goes to. It looks like it wraps around here. And I don't believe there's any on the front of the truck. So what you're really paying for is paint protection, it looks like. I don't see it continuing on down the fender, but it looks like right here on the sides and then right there on the hood. And that's what you get. I don't see it anywhere, unless I'm missing something, on the rest of the front of the truck. I hope I'm just missing it, but man, if I am, they did a really good job because I can't see any seams or anything on the front of the truck. So you're paying a decent amount of money for really minimal protection on the front of the truck. Again, I did not pay for it because it's part of my deal. I told them I didn't want it. So obviously I'm not going to pay for something when it shows up with it on the truck and I didn't ask for it, right? Let's get to a couple comments, then we're going to get to, are they right? Are the trolls right about the new Tacoma? Maybe they're not trolls. Maybe I'm misjudging them. Maybe they're realists. I don't know. Let's see. Elizardo says, hey, Rob, happy Mother's Day to everyone. Hey, Elizardo. Brian Williams, Tim, something or other, I don't know. Rascals says hi. And I don't know what else that gobbledygook there is. So we're going to have to get rid of that because, if you're posting something in a foreign language that I don't know what it means, it's got to go. Wee Fergie says, who exactly are they? Good morning. We're going to get to who they are. Jim Finley, same thing happened to me. They include options you didn't even need on my Tacoma. Yeah, and people complain about that, but honestly, the time to do something about it is during negotiation, I don't want that stuff. I'm not paying for that stuff. Like that film on the front of my truck. I didn't want it, and I didn't pay for it. I still got it. Heidi Williams, hi Rob. I don't know if you remember me. I don't know, maybe. N1 Filter, hi Tim. I test drove a 2024 SR for 40 grand. They charged you 40 grand to test drive an SR? Are you kidding me? I hope you didn't pay them 40 grand. And to test drive an SR5 2023, the V6 for 38,000. Wow, that's a lot of money to pay for test drives. Can you explain why Toyota only gave the SR only 228 horsepower in leaf springs on the cheapest, feels like V6? Well, obviously, they want you to go up and pay more money. That's why they do that. It's a marketing ploy. I mean, if you don't want that, if you want everything that this truck has to offer in the way of horsepower and suspension, you got to go up. I mean, it's just simple economics, right? That's why. Babak P. Cheers, Rob. Cheers. That was simulating a drink. I guess Heidi Williams says, I love your videos. Well, Heidi, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I do remember you now. You give me lots of praise on the channel. So, who are they? And are they right about the new Tacoma? They are all the people that make comments, all the talking heads that say that Toyota has made a big mistake. They're going to lose business. They're going to lose customers. And they screwed up the new Tacoma. Now, the reasons they're giving, number one is price. It's too much money. People aren't going to pay it. That's why, partially why, the Tacomas are sitting on the lots. And you are seeing an increase now. And I think what'll be interesting to see is that increase due to that reason and one other, or is it simply because Toyota is producing more and able to catch up more now? And that's why we're seeing some. I shot a video recently, I think it was that video, the one I took the thumbnail from, about the number of Toyotas that I'm seeing sitting on the lots in my area. And there were like 21, I think, new Toyota Tacomas available between two dealerships. Now, not a huge variety as far as what's available, nor colors. Matter of fact, I think every color I saw was either black, white, underground, we'll call it gray, or what's the other color? Black, white, gray, silver. And that's it. That's all there was. There wasn't really anything else. So you're very limited on your color choices anyway. Let's see. Let's move on. Where was I? Wee Fergie says, when I bought the 2014 Chevy SS, the dealer had added about 1,400 of stuff, but ended up not charging me. There's a perfect example. The dealership added $1,400 worth of things, and you didn't pay for it. And that's the way it should be. I mean, why are you paying for stuff you don't want if you have a choice? And it's a great negotiating tactic, right? And I'm talking about things that are added by the dealer or distribution. I'm not talking about, say, four-wheel drive versus 4x2. You're never going to go in and argue, I didn't want 4x4, so I should only pay the 4x2 price. I mean, come on, that's not going to happen, right? I'm talking about things like window tint, paint protection, seat protection, interior protection, tire protection, key fob protection, all that garbage that they make a ton of money on. Even if they exclude it from the deal and it was added to the truck, like that paint film, it didn't cost them hardly anything. And they're not going to lose the wholesale of the truck for that kind of stuff. Unless, of course, they've got people lined up out the door waiting to buy your truck. Then you might have trouble. But otherwise, that's not going to happen. By the way, we got 115 people on here, only 7 likes. If you wouldn't mind, click that thumbs up button and smash that subscribe button while you're here. Helps me out. I'd appreciate it. Let's move on. N1 filter. What trim do you think offers the best value, and do you think this generation will hold its value compared to previous generations? The SR5. I think by far the SR5 is probably the best mix of some of the options that you can get, as well as holding its value. And you're going to pay more for the Sport, the TRD off-road, of course, go higher. You're going to pay tons of more money. Do I think they're going to hold their value as well as they have in the past? I think so, but that, excuse me, we have smoke in the air down here from agricultural fires. And when you're sensitive to it, I'm so sensitive, it causes this. Anyway, do I think that I think they're going to hold their value. It's a gut feeling. I don't have anything to base that on other than history of Toyota Tacomas. We shall see. Of course, if the truck proves to have tons of problems, doesn't sell well, it's a dog, in other words, then no, they won't. But I think they will. Harrison American. What's your thoughts on hybrid cars from Japanese or the electric cars from China rising in a compounding basis? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by compounding basis. Do you simply mean that the numbers are increasing compoundingly? I'm not, you're going to have to clue me in on what you mean by compounding basis. I don't get that term or the use of it in this context, I guess. HGT. Hi, I've not seen your lives for about 2 months. I'm so glad I found you. I'm glad you found me too. It's good to have you here. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Will Inser, here in my area in South Carolina, I have not seen many on my lots. I've been looking at Jeep Gladiators since I don't see any in the area. Well, that's another problem. You see, some areas don't have any, or areas like mine where they do. And somebody told me just yesterday, I think it was, that they had 53. I find that hard to believe, but 53 of the new Tacomas on their lot, or the dealer that is in their area. 53, and then I think it was 20 or 40 Tundras. It must be a really high volume dealer, because to have that many sitting around, I find hard to believe. But let's have a sip of the green nectar. You can't beat it, man. You can't beat it. So anyway, yeah, 53. I don't know. Pat Garrett, Tacomas are already selling at a $3,000 discount here in the DMV at some dealerships. Tundras have a $6,000 discount. That's what's going to happen. And you know who I pity is all those people who paid premiums to get the new Tacoma. I'm talking about the dealer or market editions. $5,000, $10,000. I heard somebody paid as much as $20,000 to get a brand new Toyota Tacoma. That's absolutely absurd. But now we're seeing discounts according to you. I haven't seen any discounts myself. I've just seen pricing, what I'll call normalizing, if I can say that, down to MSRP or TSRP. You know, we have two different designations now. We have manufacturer's suggested retail price, and we have Toyota suggested retail price. Excuse me. I would argue what's the difference. But anyway, Toyota has these two different prices now. I don't know. Patrick Garrett says, whoa. Patrick says, look up Jones Toyota Bel Air. I don't know. And what you really have to be careful of when you look at those numbers, you have to click the little box, which is usually down the page, which says in stock, or whatever the terminology is, meaning they're there and they're on the lot, or in transit. Because in transit can mean anything from tomorrow to 2 or 3 months from now, or longer. Who the heck knows, right? Let's see. T says, what do you think is the best year of the Tacoma? I would say the best year of the Toyota Tacoma is the year that you own. And I stress own. If you've paid off your Tacoma, it's the best one you can have, man. Pat Garrett, yes, it's just a balancing, not a true discount. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of normalizing to where pricing is probably going to end up. I don't know. Patrick Garrett says, LOL, yep. Wee Fergie, and by the way, let me explain something here. You may notice that Wee Fergie's name is in green. That's because Wee Fergie is a channel member. If you want to see what that is, you can click join. Doesn't mean you joined. It just shows you what it is. And I appreciate that, Fergie. Thank you. And by the way, part of the benefit, I guess, of being a member is I'm going to give you a shout out if you have a channel. Wee Fergie does have a channel, by the way. It's just look up Wee Fergie and check him out. He's got a Nissan Altima, I believe now, but he's had the Chevy Colorado and the Toyota Tacoma in the past. Wee Fergie says, just checked about 224 Tacomas within 150 miles of me. There you go. And are all of those actually in stock, or does that include the in-transit numbers? That I'd be curious. Let's see. Justin Campbell, I bet if you went into a dealer and ordered a Tacoma of your choice with everything you wanted on it, Toyota and the dealer would charge you an arm and a leg for all of those options. They probably would. I mean, because at that point, they don't really have any skin in the game, right? If you're ordering a truck, They haven't invested in anything, so they don't have any cost in it. So if you walk, they don't lose anything, potentially. I mean, other than a mad customer. I've also heard that you cannot order a Tacoma right now. You can't go in, sit down with the inventory manager and spec one out. That's what I did on my 2020. I went in, sat down, optioned the whole thing out the way that I wanted it and ordered it. I've heard you can't do that now, which, by the way, even if you can do that, you still have to order within packages. So don't think that you can go in and order a la carte and get a Tacoma exactly the way that you want it. It's not gonna happen. They don't do it that way. And I understand why. It's simple economics. You know, it costs them more money to follow a truck through and nitpick and only put the things in that you want, right? I mean, I get it. Bucks for life. Pass it on, please. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure what that's about, but we don't jump on bandwagons here. So I don't know what the point of that is, but I'm going to disallow it, just like I did. Goose says, what are your pronouns? I would think you can tell by looking at me. I don't know. We're not a political channel, so if you're trying to go political there, I'm not exactly sure why. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just get rid of that too. Seems we have the little kitties out today. Let's see. Clifford B says, real man. Yes, a real man drives a Toyota Tacoma right there. I'm just saying. Do you buy into that? Tim says, yes, running boards, cheesy stock wheels, etc. I used to upgrade before purchasing my trucks without a problem in the past. Unfortunately, now you can't negotiate or remove or update and still pay money. That's not true. I removed things from the truck that were listed as part of the price before I got this truck. Things that were not installed yet, or in one case, that film on the front that they'd already installed. And they were removed from the price, like ceramic coating, window tinting, interior cloth protection. There was one other thing, I can't remember. But you can, that's not true. Clifford B says, aha. Alex Cummings, what's this live about, respectfully? It's about the Toyota Tacoma, as is all of the content on this channel. Specifically today, the thought or belief or assertion that people are not buying the Toyota Tacoma. They're sitting on the lots and they're growing in unsold numbers. Now, I did mention there is a second thing other than pricing. Pricing is important, but honestly, I don't believe pricing is the problem. Excuse me. I really don't. I don't believe pricing is the problem. I mean, pricing is a problem, but I don't believe that's why people are not buying the Tacoma. Because when I'm out here driving around, I am seeing all kinds of trucks that I know cost more than the Toyota Tacoma does. And if pricing was purely the problem, I don't understand why people are buying, not just trucks, the other vehicles they're buying, because they're more expensive. I think another part of the problem, now don't get me wrong, it's not like pricing has nothing to do with it, but probably a bigger part of the problem is the new engine, the 4-cylinder turbo. People are so afraid of it. I don't know why. I mean, when you jump in this truck, it does everything better than the 3rd gen does. And that's not saying the 3rd gen is bad. It's just this is an improvement. But people are scared of it. And I often wonder if a lot of the comments I see stating that or claiming that there's something wrong with the 4-cylinder aren't groups from other manufacturers who potentially are paid to spread bad information about the Toyota Tacoma. I mean, let's face it, they're number one. If there's a target out there for other manufacturers to do shady kinds of things, why wouldn't it be the Tacoma? I don't know. Let's see. Tim says, at my dealership, zero markup is why I deal with them. Well, that's good. You should only deal with dealerships that have zero aftermarket or market adjustments. That's the only way to combat that. Pat Garrett says, I have a feeling Toyota is going to eventually allow ordering. I think they're just trying to push out units right now. Oh, I absolutely agree. ordering is going to come back, but don't think you're going to be able to go in and order a la carte. You're still going to have to order packages and potentially get things that you don't want, that you're going to pay for. Let's see, Tangs or Tans or Tanzi. Dig the channel. I'm up here in Houston and I totally need to test drive the new Taco. If I trade my 2021 TRD off-road, this time I'm going for the new Sport 4x4 in that blue. Talking about Blue Crush, excuse me, I assume, which is a great color. You're gonna love it. I mean, you know, once you drive the 2024, this truck, as compared to the previous versions, there is just such a profound difference. I would be shocked if you didn't lay down the money that day. I mean, I really would. Elizardo says, long live manual transmission, real drivers. Joke. Yeah. I drive a manual, so, you know, I like driving manuals. I just didn't dig the Tacoma manual. The blue one that I had, which is where that girl back there came from, the Surround, Voodoo Blue. Awesome freaking color. It was a manual. I spec'd it out. I ordered it that way, and then shortly thereafter, I was disappointed. Clunky, notchy, gutless. I did put the pedal commander on it, and I have to say, pedal commander on a manual transmission Tacoma, it's like turning it into a race car. It was amazing. But anyway, I don't really dig. I'd love to drive a new manual, the 2024 Tacoma, to see if they changed the transmission. I have a sneaking suspicion they did not. It's the same transmission, but I don't know. I don't know that for sure. Rob Fox, come on guys, zero markup, LOL. Exactly, that's what we need, zero markups. By the way, speaking of zero, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button while you're here. I would really appreciate it. Pat Garrett, I think people are worried about the reliability, and that's the main reason people bought in the past. Because of the Tundra fumbles, people are letting others go through the minefield first. I have to say, I haven't had any issues with my new Tacoma. Again, this is the 2024 for anybody who's just kicking in here. I will say there are different noises. It makes different sounds. Every once in a while, it barks at me after I first drive it and bring it home and shut it off. It's something to do with, I don't know, the fuel system equalizing in pressure. That's what my guess is. It could be the electronic parking brake. I'm not exactly sure what it is, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just different. So every once in a while, you may have noticed it in one of the live streams. You might hear that little kind of it's my best impression of it, noise. But that's the Tacoma, man. Let's see. Alex Cummings, is your Tacoma 4-cylinder turbo? How is it? Have you ever tried towing anything? It is the 4-cylinder turbo version. It is the new 2024. You can see there, and if you want an easy way to tell, just look for those vents right there in the fender. You can always tell the 2024 Tacoma by those vents in the fenders, which I think are pretty cool. It adds a nice aggressive stance to the truck. I've had no issues with it. I do not tow anything, so I can't answer you there. Let's see. Tacoma B says, what up? How you doing? I'm doing good. How are you? Art Leaps. Leapsh? I'm going with Leapsh. I don't know. Huh? You must be confused. Jack's Messenger, what is your favorite car? Mine is a Camaro 1973. 1970s Chevy Chevelle. 70s, early or late 60s. Love that freaking car. That's probably my favorite car if you're talking about older muscle cars, man. Awesome car. I like Camaros too, gotta say. I've had a few. Tacoma Beast, are you going to get the new 4Runner? No. I have no interest in the 4Runner whatsoever. Pat Garrett, also, can you get a Chevy ZR2 with dual diff locks for as much as some of the 2024 Tacoma Sports? I think people would rather get dual lockers for the same price as an LSD. I have no idea. I'm not a Chevy guy. I don't follow Chevy, so I couldn't answer you. Jack's Messenger, what noise does it make exactly? What do you mean different? It just makes different noises when it's sitting after running, and a few when you're driving around, just different sounds. than what you'd probably be used to in the 2023. Tim, the 24 Gen 4 Sport 4x4 is night and day performance to my 2020 Gen 3. I won't miss that 2020 by any means. Absolutely. I mean, when you drive this new truck, it's just so much more responsive, smooth. The transmission is smooth. The ride quality is smooth. I mean, and people say, it's always funny to me. People say, well, it should ride rough. It should ride like a truck. So what? Every day when you come home, do you slam your head against the wall? Because that's how the cavemen used to get into their homes? Probably not. They probably didn't have doors. But point being, you know, stepping forward is not a bad thing. You know, having a smooth ride in a truck instead of, you know, getting beaten all over the place while you're driving is not a bad thing for me anyway. Vinaz Slots, mechanic. I'm not sure what you mean there. Rob Fox, there's your answer. If you use a truck as a car, you won't have any issues with it as a truck, and give us a review. Wait a minute, any issues with it? Use it as a truck and give us a review. I use it as a truck. My definition of a truck. You see, you and I, we're different people. Why you buy your truck and what you decide you use your truck for is your business. I use the truck in a manner that I think this truck should be used for. So take it with a grain of salt. Rox DX Ebec. I have no idea what that means. My Honda Civic 2019 has a stock horsepower of 180. How much more horsepower can you get by sticking a turbo in there? I have no idea. Never turboed a Honda. Don't really follow Hondas, so I can't answer you that. Alex Cummings, Rock, here you go. Somebody else more knowledgeable than me, obviously. 75 to 150 depends on the turbo. There's your answer. Let's see. Melbourne Foster, dual thumbs ups. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. By the way, if you haven't hit that thumbs up, please do it. And click that subscribe button while you're in here. I'd really appreciate it. I really would. Rocks, they had boulder doors. That's right. So can you imagine how sore their heads must have been from opening those doors, you know? But that's okay. That's how doors should open. They should be difficult. Rocks, appreciate it, Alex. There you go. Tacoma Beast, are you going to mod out the Tacoma? Yes, I've already started. There are several things that I've done already. You just have to check out the channel, man. Look at some of the stuff I've done. And Mr. H, have you read The Shining? I don't read anything. You see, I hate reading. However, I have seen the movie. Will 1, what's your review on the 4-cylinder? There are lots of them on the channel. Many more that I'm going to regurgitate during this live stream, but I will give you one word for it. Awesome. Herbert Alvarez. Hi, Rob. I like to watch your channel about cars, especially the Tacoma. I am a Tacoma lover. I have a 2nd gen now. Well, Herbert, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I always try to give honest opinions, right? Nobody is paying me. By the way, I had another comment the other day. RobMotive is bought and paid for. I wish Toyota had bought and paid for me because that would be awesome. But they haven't. I have no affiliation with Toyota whatsoever other than I own their truck. So if anything, they owe me because you see, I have paid them, but not the other way around. It's so funny you get comments like that. Oh, they give him free trucks all the time. That's why he always has new Tacoma. Yeah, sure it is. Joe Pearson, if you can get a Tacoma hybrid for less than 50K, would you get it? Yeah, down the road, I would. But my plans right now, after having this truck, is to hold on to it. I'm not looking to do anything more, and I'm certainly not paying over 50 grand. And I mean all in. When I say over 50 grand, I'm talking tax and tags and title and fees and all that junk. I'm not talking about sticker. Little sip of the green nectar here. It's so good, man. I'm not affiliated with them either, although I'm not opposed. Mr. H, do you have a GYAT? You're going to have to remind me of what that stands for. Rock says, what's the biggest modification you've implemented in your Tacoma? I will tell you the best is the pedal commander, because it refines that awesome engine setup that we have now to even give you, to squeeze out as much as you can out of that 4-cylinder turbo. It's amazing, even on a truck that is really pretty darn quick compared to the 3rd gen. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this thing is, Tesla quick. Why do I bring up Tesla? Because I have one right there. And there's another channel called RobMotive Plus. If you'd like to check out that car. Yeah, I do have one. But it's not fast like that, but it refines it. And it is the best, I think, mod that you can do, particularly with a 3rd gen. If you're driving around in a 3rd gen and you don't have the pedal commander, you are nuts. Let's see. Rock says, Mr. H, I think he has quite the collection. Yeah. Mr. Rocks, rather, they paid you back with a functional vehicle. No. They didn't pay me back anything. I bought it. I am allowing them, we are allowing them as a group to make profit and continue in business. They didn't really pay me back. They did what they should have. I mean, that's expected, right? I don't see that as a favor. I see that as an expectation. Fred Sausage, just got on here, Rob. What size tire did you install? Brand and offset. Wait, I have to stay tuned. Actually, I think I already covered that when I talked about the lift on the channel, which it is lifted. My truck is lifted, by the way, if you didn't know. This is a 2024 TRD Sport with a lift. There is a video on the channel if you're curious as to what that lift is, or the wheels and tires, as Mr. Sausage. That's what I'm going to go with, Fred, with you from now on. This is Fred Sausage. Anyway, it's on the channel. Drew V. I just think overall the new tacos are too expensive. What isn't too expensive these days? I mean, if we go back and look at the 1970s and 80s and maybe 90s, I don't know, everything's more expensive. So what you really should look at, I don't think you should really look at the price. I think what you should consider with the new Tacoma or anything else you spend your money on is there value for what I'm paying? In other words, if they're asking $100,000 for this, is there value? Is there enough value in the Toyota Tacoma for me to pay $100,000 for it? And the answer is no, there is not. What about $60,000? No. What about over $50,000? Not for me, no. But it might be different from you. Let's say, for example, you have a child who's done, and you're mega wealthy, who's done really well in school, excels in sports, has gotten into the higher echelon of colleges, and they really want a Toyota Tacoma, and you can't find one unless you pay $60,000 for it. There might be some value in that for you to reward that child. I know it's a bit of an extreme example, but value is dependent on you, right? It's a personal thing, not the same for everybody. Let's see. Wee Fergie, do the trolls know how fast YouTube would kick you off if you did not disclose being sponsored or otherwise compensated by Toyota? I don't know that that's true, actually, that they'd kick you off. I think they do that as more of an ethical thing. And to be honest with your audience. I mean, if you're not honest with your audience, YouTube doesn't really need to kick you off because your audience is going to kick you off, right? So yeah, and believe me, I would be proud if Toyota was compensating me in the form of cash or trucks. I would be proud to say that because that means the channel would have enough reach and be big enough that Toyota took note and I'm worth something to them. So that's not something I would hide from. Not to mention, I keep it honest on the channel. I mean, that's all you've got, right, is your honesty. That's why I sometimes post negative videos about the Tacoma. Not everything I put out there is sunny and flowery, right? Because I give you my honest impressions of it. That's the way I am, Let's see. Rock says, Guyat is urban slang for a fire stick. Okay. Not really a channel about that. I'm not against them, but I'm not sure what relevance that has, I guess. Tacoma B says, do you think people that have the 3rd gen should trade in for the 4th gen, and is it worth it? Another personal preference. Do I think you should? I'm not going to tell you what you should spend your money on. If you're in the market and you're going to trade off your 3rd gen Tacoma and you're looking for an awesome truck, yeah, I think you should consider the 2024 Tacoma. Am I telling you to run out and do that even though you don't need to, want to, or have to? Well, hell no. It's none of my business what you spend your money on, right? Grizzly, that's tough. Drew V, the Maverick is priced well, if you like the Maverick. I saw one in the parking lot at the Walmarts the other day. Yeah, not really my thing. John Caggiano, hey Rob, hope all is well. Did you get new tires with the lift or not yet? Yes, it has new wheels. It has, new tires. It has a lift. It's got the whole package. I bought it. I bought the whole thing as a package deal. There is a video up on the channel where I covered everything about that, as well as what it cost me and all that kind of stuff. Rocks, I don't think there is anything to justify paying $100K for a piece of machinery that functionally gets you from point A to point B, unless you're paying for competitive purposes that results in moneta. Moneta? I got to admit, I have no idea what you're talking about there. Eric Sean, is that a Supra? No, God, I wouldn't buy a Supra. Nothing wrong with the Supra. I'm just too big, and I'm not a huge person. It's too small. I've been in the new Supra, and it's like wedging yourself into a tin can. Again, nothing wrong with it if you like it, but I will never have one. I've had teeny tiny small cars like Miatas in the past. Never again. They're just way too small. Let's see. Rock says monetary rewards. Gotcha. Sure. I mean, if Toyota's going to pay you to buy their truck, why wouldn't you? I mean, sure. Repsol, my old lady, your old lady, wants to play, but I'm watching RobMotive. You need to get your priorities straight. That's all I got to say. Herbert Alvarez, congrats, your new truck is awesome. I have that color in my 2006 Tacoma. I had all generations except the new one that just came in. I hope I can get it later. I love Tacomas. Herbert, thank you very much. I appreciate that. This truck is awesome, and let me say, your choice of color is awesome, because this color in supersonic red, I mean, check that out. I can't believe nobody's asked me why the hood is open. Nobody. No, are you guys blind? Do you not see the hood up back there? Nobody's asked. Not one person. What? Eric Sean says none. LOL. Fred Sosage. Sounds more distinguished that way, doesn't it? What's your name? My name's Frederick Sosage. Let's see. Fred says, I checked on Redline hood struts for 2024. They're planning on selling a bolt-on strut, no drilling, not available yet. Yes, I've looked myself. They are not available. My concern about that is how they're going to marry them up to the front hinges. I've had the kind before that attached to the front hinges, and it made the truck very loosey-goosey feeling. I didn't like it, so I don't know. But Redline's a good company, so I'm thinking they're going to come up with something good. Tomes 88. Will changing fuel filter help the 2000 RAV4 run better? 2001, well, sure. I mean, if it's plugged and it's a 2001 and you've never changed it, I'd say that's probably a good idea. Wayne Scott, 2024 Tacomas at most of my local dealers and sitting proud. What kind of numbers you think? Ballpark. Peter Sanchez, you look like you're a Miata guy. You really shouldn't judge people on their appearance, because you don't have no idea what I am. Well, maybe you do because you watch the channel, but I do like Miatas. I just would never buy one again. They're too small. Yoitz Dro, what trim is that taco? This is a 2024 TRD Sport. That's what trim level this is. Look at that 4-cylinder gorgeousness underneath the hood. Yeah, I never thought I'd say that until I actually had one and have experienced it in person, right? Let's see, what trim? John Cagiano, do you use any fuel additives like Tectron? I'm debating to start using one with my 3rd gen. No, I don't. I did on the Jeep Gladiator because I was having idle problems. The thing would sit there and be like, just like that. I put some fuel cleaner in it, injector cleaner, and it leveled out, lasted for about 3 months, and then I'd have to do it again. My advice when using fuel additives is if you drive it often and you burn through tanks of gas and you're not having a problem, don't do it. Why do it? I mean, why dump anything in your tank that the manufacturer doesn't say you should unless you have to? You know what I'm saying? Tacoma B says, why is the hood open? I'm glad you asked. Because it is. There's really no reason. I got you, didn't I? I just thought I'd open the hood and see how long it took before anybody asked. But since I've been on here for 45 minutes and nobody frickin' asked, I had to ask you guys. There's no reason the hood's open. Adrian G24. Hey there, Rob. Last weekend on your live, I mentioned I was shopping around for a 2023 Tundra. I decided to keep my 2018 Tacoma. Well, congratulations. You still have an awesome truck, I gotta say. How many miles on that Tacoma, by the way? I'm curious. And why did you decide not to go with a Tundra? One controller. That's an interesting way to do the name. I'm pretty sure the new Tacoma is going to ruin the Tacoma name. I don't think so. I disagree, but time will tell. You could be right. I don't know. Lucas, that's because Jeeps are Fiats, LOL. Everybody's got to be something, you know? I mean, I love the Gladiators. I love the Wranglers. I never really had any issues other than that stupid auto stop system, which, by the way, I have in this truck because it's an automatic, I believe, well, not because it's an automatic, because it's a 2-wheel drive. I think that's why I believe it has the auto stop in it. Whatever. DOPS 1231. I have a Tacoma 2017. Is it worth it to upgrade to the 2024? Only you can answer that. I don't spend your money for you. If there's nothing wrong with your 2017, you like it, there's no reason to upgrade to anything else. I don't care what it is, because I'm hoping the truck is paid for. I mean, that's 7 years ago. So unless you can go out and buy a brand new one for cash, you're gonna have a car payment, you're gonna have, or a truck payment, you're gonna have higher insurance, but it's your money. If you're like me and you just can't stand it, well, why not? I did it. Der guy, shoot, what? Der from, I don't even know what any of that means. Are you trying to be cute? Is that what it is? I don't know, but okay. Tacoma Beast, how does the Tacoma feel with the turbo? It feels powerful. When you get on the gas with the turbo, it goes, and you can feel it, man. It just, you know, it's awesome. It feels good. OEF and OIF1, I just can't bring myself to buy anything with a turbo. Why? Why are people so averse to the turbo? I mean, semi-trucks have turbos. Look how many miles those things run. I mean, you know, I don't know. Tacoma Beast, are you getting aftermarket friends? Are you getting aftermarket friends? I don't know what that means. Fergie, got a split. Have a great Mom's Day with the wife. Fergie, thank you very much. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being a part of the channel. I really appreciate it. Igor Kosk. Igor Kosk. Igor Kosk. I don't know. Jeep is not a Fiat. Just because Stellantis bought Fiat does not mean it's a Jeep. Doesn't mean it's a Jeep. In fact, Fiat has Jeep and Dodge parts, but not the other way around, where Jeep puts parts from a Fiat. It could be. I don't know. I don't really care. All I care about is I like them. They run good. I never had any major issues. And they're fun to drive. I don't know. Let's see. Says he don't speak Wisconsin. I guess not. I'm not sure anybody does. I'm not even sure people who live in Wisconsin do. Let's see. Tacoma Beast says rims. Sorry. Oh, I got you. Rims. I have new wheels. That's for sure. Phil Collimore, my insurance is cheaper on my 24 Tacoma than my 2023. Mine was a little bit more, just a little bit more expensive. And that's because of where I live. Theft and accidents in deep South Texas, it's a real thing. And you pay more in insurance because of it. Fred Sausage. Frederick, you should change your first name to Heinrich. Heinrich Sausage. I have no reservations about buying the 2024 and trading my third gen. It handles so much better. Right there, you've got a report from someone who is not affiliated with my channel. Other than being a subscriber, I hope. And by the way, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please click that subscribe button if you would. I'd really appreciate it. John says, parting. Having trouble. Oh, I got you. I understood. Adrian, it currently has 87,000 miles. I simply enjoyed not having a car payment for the last 2 years. And like you said, my truck is great and I enjoy driving it very much. You've got the best truck you can have. A paid-for truck that has no problems. You enjoy driving and it runs well? No, don't do it. Tacoma, very, okay. Tacoma Beast, how is the new Tacoma with gas? 18 point some odd, it varies right now, miles per gallon. Much better than the 14 point some odd to 15 point some odd that I was getting in my previous Tacoma. So I do show an improvement there. Is it something phenomenal? No, I wouldn't say so, but it is better. I mean, 3 miles per gallon times what, 15-gallon tank, whatever it is. I can drive 45 miles further than I would have before, which, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're running out of gas, is pretty important. I'm just saying. OEF, honestly, I love my 2021 2.7 liter Tacoma rear-wheel drive. Maybe if it ever dies, I'll go new. Yeah, I've always heard good things about that, although my fear of the 2.7, the 4-liter third gen, was that it would be too gutless, for lack of a better word. Do you find it that way? Florin F, can't wait to get my new TRD off-road this May. Woohoo! Well, we're about halfway through May, so it's got to be coming. I assume you've got one that you've picked from allocation or is coming. Let's see. DYL, what's the highest mileage third gen you've seen so far? I don't know. I don't track that. I know it's what, a couple hundred to 500,000. I really don't know. I don't track that. Florin F, how much wider is it for a one-car garage? I don't have the dimensions handy, so I'm not going to guess. OEF says, it's very gutless, but I drive like a grandma anyway. Well, there you go. So for you, it suits you fine. It doesn't sound like it matters to you, which is fine because, ultimately, in the end, we're not paying for your truck. I assume you are. So as long as it makes you happy, that's all that really matters. Anyway, I just wanted to get on. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, including my own. Mom, I hope you're on here. Tacoma B says, did you tint your windows? I have not done that yet. Not sure if I'm gonna. I probably will. Real quick, on your way out, if you haven't, click that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. Just helps out the channel a little bit. Shows me that you're interested. We'll see you next time. Should be Wednesday, I think, on the next live stream, right about the same time. Have a great rest of your Mother's Day. Bye.